Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there.
Avast me hearties, and welcome once again to Full Stream Ahead. Arg, I am your captain, Charlie the Professor Esser, and with me as always is me skinny rich friend.
It's Mozz.
Hey Mozz, welcome to tonight's episode. Sorry, Marvel short. A funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer. Wait a second. I gotta go one more. Get my breakdown on this. Okay.
So is this right before the Thor movie?
Yes, this takes place just before the first Thor movie, although it probably came out after the first Thor movie.
It's also fits with the version of Thor we saw in What If, right?
Roughly, yeah. Yeah, except that one was the party Thor.
Was it? I guess.
Oh, no.
It didn't have to be the same Thor. Right?
No. This would have been the Thor. Right. Oh, yeah, that one. Yes. So arguably, yes, that is the same Thor.
Because Coulson's there too, trying to like assess the hammer. So this happened like either right before that or, in whatever world, you know.
In whatever world, this is what happened. Although actually, I think there was a weird thing where I figured out that because Coulson's already there, there was something I remember when we were watching What If where I said, "Oh, I think this means that he didn't stop for gas."
Interesting.
Based on that was just one of the things that was slightly different in this universe. Anyway, here's the synopsis. Agent Coulson stops at a convenience store and deals with a coincidental robbery during his visit. The director this week is Latham. Our writer is Eric Pearson, who we will see goes on to do many things, not the least of which is write our next entry, Item 47, as well as many episodes of the series Agent Carter.
So because now I've heard you use that name several times, and it's always strange to me that it's a one-named person, right? Or he goes by just one name.
Oh, no. Well, Latham, no. Actually, I didn't even look what Latham does. Let me see let's click what Latham does after this.
Yeah,
Latham.
Every time I hear that, because I seem to have like a contextual memory of it, like, oh, that person's impressive somehow.
Yeah, actually, weirdly enough, no. He just did a funny thing. He's the director on this, and Marvel One Shot The Consultant.
I guess maybe that's the only thing I remember. Maybe it was that. Well, I mean, that was really good. So,
yeah, and he's got no picture. So, who all I know is Latham could be a stage name. Maybe that's a name Robert Downey Jr. puts on things when he doesn't want to hype it. I don't know. We don't know. Cool. We'll never know. Yeah, right. That could be Christopher Gregg or Clark Gregg's directing name. But we have Clark Gregg as Agent Coulson, Jessica Manuel as our clerk, Jeff Pruitt as Robert 1, and Zach Hudson as Robert 2. Robert 2, not Robert. And this is I believe this is actually our first introduction to Roxxon, which went on to become something iconic in the television universes.
In the Netflix universe.
Yeah, well, where was Roxxon? Roxxon was most associated with Cloak and Dagger.
Wasn't it like a significant portion of Iron Fist, the Roxxon Corporation?
What? Maybe that as an alternate corporation, yeah, going up against Rand, that is a possibility. But Roxxon winds up coming up a lot throughout the MCU after this point, which is why one of these things, although that's one of the interesting things when you get into these shorts and you get into the big controversial MCU timeline on Disney Plus. This is in the timeline, but so are Team Daryl and Team Thor shorts, which are straight comedy. And so when you get into that, that everything in that should not be taken as canon. Although at the same time, they often refer back to them. So there's like a weird little vibe where you kind of get the idea that, like I always say, anything that needs to be canon can be canon. And a lot of stuff just will never be canon because, at least not in in these characters interacting. But anyway, it's just interesting. And of course, that's the sad part, that Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. isn't in there. It's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. really does get put off in its own little corner. It's not even part of the Defenders saga. It's just, really, it's its own saga. It's its own 7 seasons of greatness, starting here.
I mean, they've brought everything else into the fold. I mean, they're not going to stop, where we are now.
No, I highly doubt that. And it's really just what part of it, where they left it, what do they want to bring forward,
Yeah.
It's an interesting thing that when you look at something like Picard, where they too gave Picard a robot body at the end of that series, so who knows? Who knows where it goes? As it sits for right now, though, I like this. No, that's the Kirk from the evil universe who has been captured and thrown into the brig with the other evil counterparts. Yeah, those were the evil versions, and during the teleport, it's the Mirror episode of Star Trek on. So when they transported between the universes, they realized the evil ones were evil, and they locked them all up. Whereas yes, because of this TV show, yes, that is where goatees being evil became a thing. Although arguably, I guess goatees were evil before then. It will popularize that when someone is from the evil universe, they have the beard. So that's how I know I'm from the evil mirror universe. But moving on.
What I liked about this was, like, Coulson encounters a problem, right? Encounters some bad guys. Yes. And he could take them out as easy as he wanted, but he decides to, like, let me up the ante. I have a playground here. I'm going to give away my gun, and I'm going to try to do this without shooting anybody. And then that seems interesting. He's given himself all these things to sort of like make the problem harder, just so it'll be mildly amusing. That part was interesting to me.
And also what it does, and this is the other aspect that I think is important to it, is it keeps the collateral damage to a minimum. Less, like, if he had actually killed both of these guys, that is something you can't walk away from. That's going to have a whole thing. It puts S.H.I.E.L.D. on the map when S.H.I.E.L.D., as at least at this point, still was trying not to be on the map.
Right, but I mean, even if he wanted to take them out, I'm sure he had a gadget with which he could do it, or he could just, like, calmly go up there and do it. But he wanted to, like, set up the scenario. Hey, I'm about to do something. See if you can catch what I'm about to do, like a magic trick, right? Look over here, nothing up my sleeves, right, guys? I didn't think he would go to kill them, but even the way he took them out was real smooth and was more like play.
I mean, I guess here's what I'll say. I guess I can see how it looks like that. This is a superheroic universe, so usually when people are climbing and jumping on things, I usually don't assume it's calculated. I just assume that that's just the physics of this world. Mm-hmm. And what he's trying to do, in my mind, is he's trying to prevent any further damage. He's trying to make sure the girl gets out of this okay.
Oh, of course.
She's obviously,
but I feel like he knows he can do that regardless. It didn't need to be like, hey guys, you know, it's like he could have come up from behind, like, you know, whatever the Vulcan death grip that puts people to sleep. I'm sure he knows 1,000 moves like that. But
I can see that. I'm not going to say that's not what he would have done.
Yeah,
but,
I mean, he looked like he was having fun.
He certainly was having fun. But this is from the Coulson is having fun era, you know. And this was when they were just doing, and it's weird because you can see that so much of this was with a mind towards the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. property and the expansion into that universe, which is one of the things that I tell you is the weirdest thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., because even though that wound up under, you know, Whedon and the Marvel Television Studios, you know, Kevin Feige's a producer on this one. And I do think he was a producer on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. You know, I'd have to go back and double check it. But, you know, I think that he's had his fingers into all of these pies for most of the entire run of all of them, you know, which is why I think that all of this does come back eventually. But they don't want to overplay it, you know. Just put it to the side. I'll deal with it later, okay? There's some unopened monster cereal in the cupboard if you want that. Anyway. I love him, but it's like, you know, I am in the middle of a podcast here. It's okay. Any of them are expired. Okay, good.
I think you need like an on-air sign.
yeah, you know, really. Well, I worry he's just looking at the first, like, you know, the month and the date. It's like, no, serial, you got to look at the year. Because it's like 2, 3. Yeah, so there we go.
Just keep reading a little further.
Yeah, well, he said it was January 20th, 2022. So I guess maybe the Monster Mash had a lower shelf life, but the Boo Berry is good. So thank goodness for that. Yes. Anyway, moving right along. It's okay. Yeah. So he throws the flower in the face, which I think is a really great move. You know, like you say, it shows him using his environment in a non-lethal way, even though the one person does get their foot blown off.
Hey, you did that to yourself.
Exactly. Why are you shooting yourself?
Yeah. Like he already gave you his gun. He can't shoot you. There was no reason to try to shoot an unarmed man charging you.
Yes. Well, you know. Well, I don't even know if he tried to shoot him. I just think that, you know, as part of his move, he stepped on the gun barrel.
Well, it looked like to me he was raising it, and he stepped on it in order to get it out of his way. Otherwise, he would have just, I think, probably like went
that
with like a
to
the face or something.
That also gives it like, that you know, him. It actually gives him that little boost from the person actually at the time. But yeah, so that was hilarious. And after both men are out, you know, he says he couldn't decide. He's got no powdered sugar, and it was like, you know, that is a rental car because you don't put powdered sugar donuts in your real car.
Right.
You will never get that powdered sugar out.
Right.
It's not a nice car like that. And, you know, it's lovely. He like leaves her the 100 just to keep the change because she's really out of her depth. And, you know, just says, well, what do I tell him? Just tell him the Tybo's paying off, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder what happened to that lady after that.
Extra little bribe, you know, just, hey, a little hush money. You never saw me, right? Here's a little tip. You never saw me.
Wasn't there.
Yep.
Paid. Of course, it's all on security cameras, but, you know.
I'm sure she's smart enough to go delete it.
Yeah, or she'll come by later and just pick it up, you know. Right.
Just to check in. Hey, I got my eyes on you. Your mouth shut?
Yeah. Yes. But yeah, that's a funny thing that happened on the way to Thor's hammer. Like I said, I mean, this really gives a neat sense of what we're going to get when we get to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You know, Clark Gregg as something of a BA, which I like in this, you know. Because Clark Gregg, he's a relatively unassuming guy. He's kind of like Marvel's Bruce Willis, you know? Nothing necessarily makes you think Bruce Willis. I mean, the original Bruce Willis. And I'm sure, quite frankly, when Clark Gregg takes his shirt off when he's getting ready for a movie, he looks like Bruce Willis too now. But, you know, it's just the idea that, you know, he is an unassuming, average-looking guy, but he's also a trained killer, and he's ready to defend the people of Earth wherever he can.
And I'm sure he welcomes people having that impression of him, because tactically, it's very advantageous.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And it is, you know, he is, which is how this all happens. He's in the back, and he's just like, it's just me. I'm just going to be calm. Sort of does a little Columbo thing on them where it's like,
right.
I'm not here to cause problems for you, you know. And then it's like, you know, oh, I also have a gun. And it's all the ways he distracts them. And then, you know, when he moves over to the aisle to slide it to the other guy,
right?
You know, it looks like, and that's what's great about it, because it is about line of sight too. Because when he does that, immediately the other guy who had a gun on him now doesn't have a gun on him because he can't see what he's doing. And when he slides the gun and then quickly grabs the thing and throws it and does the jump and, you know, takes everyone out, it's like a very fluid motion, and it's a very fluid set of moves. And that gets us to what I think is going to be Marvel's small screen idea, which is the close quarter hallway fight, you know? And that is what is going to be the defining traits. This is, you know, much like Agent Carter, these were meant to be this proof of concept. We can bring Marvel to television. That was always the intention. We can tell a short, quick story that is just as exciting and cinematic as the movies, but, you know, it'll just be in this little compact space for this one story. And I really think this one definitely gives you that, you know. Of course, you know, it's like they approved this one and then they went and did the consultant later. And of course, you know, it's just like, yeah, we don't have any more budget. We can't do like what we did in the consultant. Right. So why don't you sit at a diner and order coffee?
We can work with that. That's one day of shooting. With that.
Yeah. Any final thoughts on tonight's episode, Mozz?
No, I really loved everything about it. I think we touched on everything.
Yeah. Well, you know, and of course you get all the domestic fun of my family. Sorry if that's annoying. Phil, if you need to, you can cut out the entire discussion of
expired cereals. Or not.
Expired cereal. Yeah, well, you know, they when they like the cereal, you buy the cereal, and then like 2 weeks later, like, oh, yeah, I don't know, do I want cereal anymore? And that's just how it goes. Mozz, if people want to reach out to you, how can they do so?
Oh, they can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
And likewise, they can always email us at CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. Now, that's the Capes and Lunatics general email line for all of our shows. Full Stream Ahead, the Capes and Lunatics show, Super Connectivity, which I also host, and many, many more. You can also call us and leave us a message for any of these shows, which we will play on the air if you want us to. That's 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And, of course, go down to Linktree, linktr.ee/CapesandLunatics, where you can get a link to all of our merch, including T-shirts, ice cold mugs, which I don't have out right now because I had to wash it, and many, many more things, including participating in our Patreon and, you know, videos as low as, I think it's $5 a month. And you get the full video, which will have our, worst superhero movie of all time brackets for this year. Coming up next, Elektra versus Blade Trinity.
Ooh.
Watch it. If you have any thoughts on any of that and you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our mothers and fathers once did, do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, at gmail.com. And, of course, follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things like Legends of Tomorrow when I feel like it, or Naomi when I feel like it, and there's a new show on, and yada, yada, yada. At Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality. Bing!
Thank you, Mozz. All right, yeah, lovable land lovers. You've got through another episode of Full Stream Ahead. We hope you'll join us back and once again sail full stream ahead. Arg, okay.